I mean, I had a diary, I think, when I was little. I don't really remember. It's nothing that I kept. But what I know is that I think as an actor, having, especially being a method actor, you know, you're working constantly when you're working with characters of any kind, you're working with your own story. I mean, method is, you know, working from the inside. So I think remembering doing, you know, working on my life story, you know, there've been a lot of years of me looking at it. So recalling it has not been that difficult for me because it's not like I woke up one day and went, oh, gee, I've been blocking that out and now I remember that happened. It's been very tactile and very close to me, I think, from, you know, the time I was a little girl. You know, I was very awake with what was happening. I wasn't in denial or pretending not. And so, yeah, that I think it's just remembering. I think it's, I do remember, and I've remembered for forever.
Well, since we're talking about that, this may be as good a time as any to go into some of the meat and potatoes of the formation of your personality.
Yeah.
So your brothers began taking inappropriate liberties from the age of 9, you said?
Yes, yeah. So I was molested starting at 9 by 2 of my older brothers, and that obviously had an incredible impact on me. And I think I knew at that point, especially because my dad was kind of a scary personality in the house, and we all were a bit afraid of him. But I think, you know, I kept probably on some level those secrets, maybe to protect my brothers in a strange way. You'd think I'd be protecting myself, but I think, you know, and it was a tension that I think as one of 13, to be quite frank, you're looking for your love in any way you can get it. And I think, although it's nothing that I obviously wanted to happen to me, looking back on it and having healed so much of it, I can see now those spaces of where you are a child. It's sort of, why don't you speak up? Why don't you tell? Why? And you ask yourself those questions. And I think part of it was fear, and part of it was protection and loyalty, and all of those things. And that evolved into a more complicated or equally complicated relationship. And I call it relationship in quotes. I thought it was at the time, but I got involved with my middle school teacher, who happened to be a woman. She was 15 years my senior, and that was obviously very complicated, but in some ways seemed at the time, I'm sure, much better than what I was experiencing at home, in the sense that, you know, there was attention and shopping and gifts and you're special and you're the one and nobody can know. So there again was an adult saying, this is different than what other kids are doing, but you're special and you're unique, and no one would understand. And I didn't want that to go away. You know, on a certain level it was consensual. Of course, she seduced me. I was 11 until I was 13. But that was initially, but it was consensual, and it took me until well into my 20s to unravel that was wrong, and to stop protecting her, and to stop protecting what I had created an illusion about, that relationship or affair or situation was. But it takes a while when you've been somewhat brainwashed and not having your needs met as a child. You know, it's very easy to slip into protecting somebody where you seem to be getting something you need from them.
Right, right. And we haven't mentioned the Catholicism.
Well,
just the impact that has on a child.
Absolutely, and the guilt and the shame, and yes, yeah, and this isn't supposed to be happening. And you know, I think even though I was 11, which is young, I still know at 11, 12, 13 that, you know, being gay or being with the same sex partner was something that wasn't okay, because she was in the closet. She was living at home with her parents. I mean, she was completely in the closet, still dating guys of, you know, once in a while to appease her sister, who, you know, so I was witnessing this adult completely like hiding, shameful, feeling that, you know, it wasn't okay to be out. So that was a role model for me.
Right, right. And I don't think we mentioned your father being an official from the Vatican, or involed with officials in the Vatican?
Yeah, so without doing, you know, giving away too much of the book, when I, which we know we'll get to, but when I learned my dad's personal secret, that he shares with me after he discovers mine, my sexuality. I get close to him and start carrying his secret, he's carrying mine, and then I start to learn that all the money that we have isn't necessarily coming from his Catholic travel agency that he owned, but that these connections, high-level connections he has at the Vatican and his constant traveling, I mean, extreme traveling, 500,000 miles a year kind of traveling, is there's more to it than just leading pilgrimages in the Holy Land.
Right, right. And then having all of that wrapped around him, plus the rage and the
and the drinking and yeah,
it's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot.